Good evening, Scorpio. Hope you're well. My name is Catherine. I'm kind of new on the tarot scene. So nice to meet you. I'm here to do a mixtape message, which is the name I came up with to describe that I'm going to give you 3 readings all rolled into one. So short general, short love, and short career messages using the same 3 decks. We're going to start with a Moonology card. You might know this deck. Quite popular. Okay. Don't let pride get in your way. So let's see what this is about, really. Maybe you're simply I'm hearing you boosting, but I feel that you have a very good reason. Let's see what the caution really pertains to. So this one is the general. Let me pull. The cards are not coming out. At least by themselves. 4 of Wands. This one is the King of Swords, I believe. Yep, in reverse. Let me show you the card. King of Swords and the High Priestess in reverse. I mean, you're definitely speaking, telling, expressing something that you're happy about, that you feel is rock solid. I feel it pertains to a particular idea that you've had. I'm also thinking that because the King of Swords is in reverse, it is not your own, meaning it might not be an original idea, but it is something, a formula that works really well for you. And you haven't stolen anybody's idea. It's just not something original and new and inventive, or at least fully inventive. You might obviously give it your own twist. I think you're very proud of that. Partly because I think also it creates a lot of stability for you. I'm going to pull one more card because I'm wondering if this is what kind of stability we're really talking about. Let's see. 2 cards came out. The 10 of Wands in reverse. And I think this is the Page of Wands. Let me just check. It's written so small. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm obviously going with the imagery. I can tell it's a page. But I've made some mistakes in the past, right? Thinking a page was a knight or vice versa. So, anywho. Again, this is not your idea. This is the Page of Wands. You would have seen this. You would have heard this. It would have been something that was communicated to you, something that you picked up on. That's why the page is in reverse, simply to indicate that it comes from a different source. I'm not too sure about the general, okay, what I mean by that is, to me, it feels like an idea, mainly because of this King of Swords. So I'm thinking that you've given this a lot of thought as well, right? But for some reason, I'm not able to pinpoint exactly what you're creating. I don't know if it's something like in work. I don't know if it's, I'm not too sure what it is that you're creating or doing. It points to something that creates stability for you, so almost foundational. We also see the hard work. Even if the Ten of Wands is in reverse, it's been hard work. But it's not so hard anymore. It's like you got the hang of it. I'm wondering why you're being cautioned about the pride. Maybe it's because, again, you're telling everybody. You know, the High Priestess is usually very secretive like you. But this time you're, I don't know, it's like you're, what I'm seeing, the image is when you plant seeds, right? The way you throw the seeds, it feels like you're disseminating. So you have, you're thinking about how it will grow. And I know it's not the Seven of Pentacles. I'm clearly aware of that. But it's in terms of the stability, right? So it's almost like saying you're marking the land here. Like, have you ever seen, like, sometimes when you when you build a house, like there's nothing, right, from scratch, and you want to lay the foundations, you basically draw the foundations, but you use like rope with little pickets, right? And you pull the rope, and you actually, this is what it feels like to me. But the gesture is, you know, you're kind of doing it loosely. So it's not so much meticulous work of pulling that rope and making a very square-like figure, but it is with the idea that this is where you're planting your foundations. But the way you plant them is how you disseminate information. It's, I hope it's not too contradictory, but it's like two actions in one, right? Maybe also there's a lot of communication, so hopefully it's not just all talk, you know. I hope you get to walk your talk, basically. Maybe that's the caution about the pride. It's all fine and well to be proud of that idea, to already kind of put it out there and speak about it, but you have to follow through. Which could be the caution here as well with the Ten of Wands, if you're not putting enough effort. Although I feel you are a hard worker. Solution. I'm telling you, it's about the realm of the ideas, how you, maybe this is what I was describing about creating the particular structure is the solution to what it is that you want to express, that you're putting out there. And it feels really something that is said mainly. I really want to express that it's like either singing, speaking, so let's do the love message. What is going to come up for you? Love, love, love. I'm going to pull. I don't want to take too long, so it's faster. Although I really enjoy pop-outs. No way! Don't let pride get in your way, the same card. Okay, now what is this one about? How are you letting pride come in the way of your love life? Okay, this is the Nine of Wands, and now we have the Page of Pentacles upright. I'm going to pull some more right away before I say anything, but the Nine of Wands is pointing to feeling shy about something, which is totally contradicting letting pride get in your way, right? You're shy about something. And I'm going to tell you that you're shy about offering something. Maybe the messages I was saying from the other portion, right? I will kind of blend the messages because they kind of echo one another. Not always, but when they do. Five of Wands in reverse came out. That's the pride. There's competition. There's a sort of a brawl going on about an offer. It's not comfortable. Someone is choosing kind of the drawback attitude. Maybe there's a lot of pride overall. Maybe it's not yours in this case. It could be like around you. You know, everyone trying to measure one another, you know, very... a lot of ego or egos. Not that ego is not healthy, but you know what I mean. Just the Star. That's amazing. But this is the pride. There's, okay. There is star quality. So I'm not saying that you're a movie star. I'm not saying, you know what I mean, but there's definitely a lot of attention on you. This is what is creating a lot of competition. I don't think you're comfortable. You're shy about this. I really think that you're shying away from the spotlight. I really don't think you are. I think you prefer to be quiet, almost like, you know, let me just like do this. I'm gonna say it like you would prefer things to be like almost smaller, like without much of a fanfare, you know, a lot of noise. I think you just prefer things to be more low-key, more discreet, more subtle, just a little bit like that. And yet you're drawing so much attention. It's creating a lot of friction, and it's engaging a lot of ego or egos, because I think there's more than one person around you that is being triggered. And the funny thing is just how humble, like, and how much you almost don't want this. It's so intriguing. There's one thing I'm going to say. Oh, it's just the last card, but it didn't really fall. It just moved. I'm not going to pull that. I wasn't ready. I wanted to say something else. So what you're proud of is what you're working on, the offer that you're working on. I think you're proud on what you're offering in general. So it doesn't have to be one specific offer. You know, the Page of Pentacles is extremely studious, well learned. they have a lot to offer, even if they're very non-ostentatious about it, right? That's what it is. Yet you're very proud of what you do, of your knowledge, of your value. It's a beautiful message. So it's not love related at all, unless it's within the context of it doesn't feel so much about love. Unless you're preparing like a letter, love letter, unless you're preparing to eventually propose something to someone, it's a possibility, right? Like, it could be an invitation, something that you'd be really hopeful about. Yet around you, there's blockages, there's barriers, there's obstacles. Not always in your face obstacles. They could be kind of, how do we say, I don't know, like, I don't know if you follow me, like it not someone like fully like keeping you from sending that letter or writing it for one. Well, writing it, you won't have an issue, but sending it and reaching the sender or the invitation or whatever. So, I mean, you feel kind of really almost defeated about the situation because you're not able to cross over whatever that seemingly non-apparent obstacle there is. And that's the thing, it's non-apparent, yet it's there for some reason. And it comes in the form of pride, not your own in this case. There's just a lot of egos or egotistical energies. Let me just pull that card for you. It's the other way around, that's what I'm saying. The pride is not yours, because the oracle was pointing at, don't let your pride get in the way, but it's not yours. It's around you. Because you're really, you're humble, you feel almost unworthy of all this attention. Very intriguing. Let's go to the career message. That's the last portion. Okay, what's going on for you, Scorpio? Besides the idea we saw, like all the things you had to say, that in that case, it's interesting. The two messages, right? There was pride on the general. So there's something I said, you do have a healthy pride about what you do, what you know your worth, you know what you have to offer. That makes you very proud, and maybe a little too proud, especially when you express that. Yet when it comes to love, it's a different reality. You don't feel deserving, and you don't like so much attention, and you also and for some reason in love you draw to you people that kind of don't like the attention that you get. So there's jealousy and pride around that coming from others. Maybe they judge your pride, the way you express yourself and the things that you have to say. Maybe they judge that as, oh my God, you're so prideful or so full of it, right? But you see how the love message was pointing to so much humility and maybe even insecurity to a degree. I wouldn't say you're fully insecure, but there's something about it that you prefer to be discreet, which is quite Scorpio-esque. Don't let your past hold you back. Let's see what the tarot says. This one wants to come out. Another page, Page of Cups this time. The Fool. Beautiful energy, very young, fresh. You know, it's beautiful because it opposes this past energy of not holding on. Like, this is an energy of renewing yourself, moving boldly into the unknown. Another energy of you taking time to write. There's a lot of, it's interesting, the 3 pages were from the different suits, right? But all in all, you're wanting to communicate something. So something in love, you have an offer, there's something that you create that you want to put out there in terms of what you're offering. And there's a lot of information and knowledge that you wish to express. So let's see maybe what holds you back, because right now with the Fool upright, you're going for it. And again, maybe that's why you're attracting inadvertently people that are maybe a little bit envious. 2 of Cups in reverse and the 9 of Swords in reverse. Well, this would be the past energy, something in love, right? We do have the Page of Cups. It feels like you didn't like, you got really, really anxious, like not just a little bit. There's a lot of anxiety here. Even if it's in reverse, sometimes I read it as, obviously, the lesser degree, there's of, you know, the full height of anxiety when the card is upright. But because it's coming with the 2 of Cups in reverse, I think you've been very anxious in love within the context of a relationship. It feels that it's something that's is holding you back. And obviously I'm borrowing those words word for word, but remember I told you that there are obstacles that are non-apparent? This is exactly the feeling. Whatever's holding you back is almost invisible. It's not even maybe like people, or like it doesn't feel like full-on straightforward opposition. It feels invisible. Part of it could be of your own doing, right? Of your your negative thoughts taking over, from maybe past experiences, even further out in time. they might be surfacing or resonating with a particular situation, especially the one that we just saw, right, in the love message. Because as much as I want this to be a career message, there is definitely a love message to be said here first. There's a strong dichotomy here, because this was like, yes, I'm willing to express my feelings. I'm not scared. I want to go for it wholeheartedly, without any inhibitions. And I feel I can hear the laughter, right? It's like it's it's so spontaneous that it really like makes you laugh. I don't know if you know that feeling of you're relaxed, so you smile easily and you laugh easily. So when you do something that is pleasant and that you're desiring, like offering love or speaking love, it makes you laugh. Not that it's, you know, it's not a laughable situation. It's not about that. It's not derision here. This is just like happiness, just pure joy, candid. But then the dichotomy is like this energy of it's not well received. There's a disconnect. There's been a lot of anxiety. And so it's like as much as you want to, it's like you're not able to, and you're being held back. And it feels like with something invisible is creating this. I obviously think that you're sensing it, especially you Scorpios. You're so intuitive. You really feel things deeply, and you're very actually accurate about what you feel. Let's draw that the last card and see if we can. You've got 4. They didn't turn. I'm gonna put them back. If they would have turned, I would have kept all 4, but I prefer maybe just 1 or 2. Let me just concentrate on how I want to word this question here. So I'd like to see maybe what really holds you back, and how come there's basically a disconnect and mostly a dichotomy between what your soul and your heart are wanting or desiring, and the impulse that you have to, you know, speak your mind, go forward, extend yourself, etc., versus completely cutting those feelings out and feeling terrible about it, you know, feeling like anxious. And I'm not sure it's necessarily like from past experiences in general. This past thing feels like this invisible energy that we were also sensing before about obstacles, non-apparent obstacles. I'm drawing for you. It's the other way around. Okay. I have to be sincere here. The first thought is you're creating that invisible barrier. I don't know why. It feels like suddenly it's your choice to disconnect. no one's really holding you back from making an advance here, you know, extending yourself. No one is holding you back. You are. And I'm even going to go as far as it's not even your past necessarily holding you back. Like the more, the past, right? Like it's not so much other experiences further down the line. It feels much more current. Now I'm trying to think of your motivations for that. That's what intrigues me now. I'm going to draw one more card out of this deck to see if we can understand why you'd be doing this. Because it's like sabotage. I just heard, you know how the South Node is, you do things that are familiar to you, like almost what you call like by default, almost unconsciously. It could be a pattern that you have of always withdrawing at the last minute. It's something familiar. It's hard to break. Or it's a go-to, like a defense mechanism or protection mechanism that you have in place that gets triggered. And then when that gets triggered, you're not conscious of it, South Node. And then you just behave in that particular way. And maybe the back and forth here, going forward and then moving backwards, disconnecting, could be the whole pattern in itself. Let's see though. I'd rather wait for a pop out for this one if you don't mind. Because it's intriguing. But it makes sense. The pattern doesn't want to come out. I think I'm going to give it a rest. I'm not going to pull. I think it makes sense to me that you're doing this to yourself, and that the motivation that I was trying to see here, there's no motivation besides that this is something familiar, that you are like an acquired, not acquired, but it's kind of what you've always done, and you could be to a certain degree unaware of it. Or at least when you're triggered, right? When you're triggered, you are not able maybe to stop yourself from behaving in this way, and then disconnecting strongly and going a little bit in a downward spiral about the kind of the guilt, the stress, the talk down, right? All of that. Anyways, that was general, but it turned out to be love. So I'm not going to read, sorry, that was the career portion. So for this one, I'm not going to flip it. I'm going to leave it because it was really a love message, or pointing to how you behave in love, I want to say now. So apologies, career didn't really show its head, but I hope you don't mind. It is what it is. So thank you for your presence. Thank you for gracing me with your energy. I appreciate that. Please like the video, share and subscribe. That means a lot. I'll see you soon. Good night.